All right. Hey, everybody. Today we're going to be learning how to make custom trays in base plates using Exocad. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be pulling in a stone model that we had scanned and converted to an STL file using our DOF scanner at school. And what you're going to do is you're going to already have this downloaded from wherever you got it, the OneDrive or anything like that. And we're going to start here with our work order form. So same as always, I'm just going to choose a client. It doesn't matter. And then I already have one pulled up, but I'm just going to name it whatever you want to. This is just for the person I'm making it for, and this is a custom tray. Then I just choose myself. Okay, so we're going to start on the maxillary, and you're going to want to do these separately. You don't want to do them together, because we don't want it to ask for any type of occlusion or anything like that. We're tricking the software here. So we're going to choose Baseplate. Minimal thickness is 1 millimeter. Our occlusal thickness is 2 millimeters. This is just standard for making a base plate. You'd obviously change this if you're making a bite split. And you can also change this in the software itself later on if you need to kind of manipulate some things. Like I've heard some implant custom trays you want to make a little thicker, so you might change this to 2.5. The peripheral thickness too is just the side of the tray, so if that needs to be thicker or thinner depending on what you're looking for. Just going to go ahead and OK. We're just single arch of pylons again. So we don't want it to ask for an antagonist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select and then hold down shift here and kind of drag all that out. So it's going to delete all the antagonists on the bottom there. Go ahead and hit save. I'm ready to get started. So first things first, it's going to ask me to pull my model. I'm going to pull in that stone model we have scanned. It's going to be an STL file. You guys know, and it's asking me for the upper jaw here. So I'm going to make sure I choose the upper jaw. All right, here we go. So one of the nice things about the DOF scanner is it's pulling in the color with it. So I actually pulled in a OBJ, and which is an object file instead of an STL file. The only difference between the two is that the OBJs have color. So you can see I have this line, this pencil line here that one of the professors would have drawn in for us to show us where they want the extension of the trait to go to. So if you see here, I click this off. That's what normal models look like when you scan them, and it's just an STL and automatically just makes them stone colored. But we use that, and we can see that this is nice and colored for us. And don't worry about this extra scatter here on the bottom too. That's just pulled in from the DOF scanner. We don't care about it at all. So adjust our scan data as normal. We're making sure that the orientation's right. It is. If this whole surface is red, then obviously we'd have it flipped. It's asking us for T segmentation. We're going to skip this step as well. Um, and if it tries to do it on your screen, I don't have it connected to internet here, but if it tries to automatically go through that, just cancel the function and hit skip because it'll go crazy trying to find teeth in a dentulous model. So what we're going to do is we're going to now set our path of insertion. So this green arrow here is showing me where it's going to set up my block out wax. So this is basically like, if this is a custom tray, so I'm going to set my block out wax to about 1.5 millimeters. If I was making a base plate, I would make this number right here to about anywhere from 0.25 millimeters, a quarter of a millimeter to a half of a millimeter. If there's really, really bad undercuts, sometimes I'll make that offset 0.5. And if there's like this model doesn't have any undercuts, so I probably make it 0.25 just to be a little bit of a tighter fit. So my insertion path here, I'm making sure that I see everything that I want to, but I'm also not hiding anything important. So right here, there's a little bit of an undercut. Anywhere that is pink is going to be blocked out. So there's a little bit of an undercut. Obviously, the folds of the rugae are going to be blocked out, but this is a pretty good path of insertion for me. If she had a really big undercut here, then for a base plate, I'm gonna orient the base plate more like this, just so that I can engage the alveolar ridge to get more retention, if that makes sense. But I don't want to engage it too much to where I'm blocking out behind the hammer notches here. So I want to make sure I can still see my pencil line back here. And again, this is just for base plates. For a custom tray, it's just holding our impression material. So we really don't care as much about the block out stage. We just need to make sure that for a custom tray, it's that 1.5. And for a base plate, it's going to be about 0.25 to 0.5, depending. And when you're done, you're just going to go ahead and apply, and it's going to make that model for us. And all this information too is going to be in your handout as well. So you guys can reference that when you're designing these things. You don't have to remember all these numbers, or you can just reference the video as well. So we're going to wait for it to do its thing, and you're going to see it's going to pop out a layer of wax, as you will, that's blocking out everything that we asked it to, and it's also creating that offset. I'm going to hit next. This always pops up. It's not a big deal. I just go ahead and hit OK. So now we're going to switch our service properties to include palette. This is going to pop back up. That's completely normal. You're going to deselect it just so you can start selecting the border. So we're going to come over here and we're going to start selecting where we're going to make our tray to. You don't have to select every point, but you kind of want to, you don't want to just make 3 or 4 points on here. You want to have a good idea of where you're going. Now you see here, this model is trimmed fairly close to where we're going to be marking our tray border. So you want to be careful not to get too close or it's going to fall off the edge. I'm actually going to purposely make it fall off the edge in the back here in a second, just to show you guys what to do when that happens. And say sometimes you want to pan and you accidentally click, way up there. You can just drag this and pull it back down. And you double click the last point, and that's going to have it auto generate for you. So, oh, it actually, it didn't do what I wanted to do to mess up, but that's okay. So, this would be a great custom tray. And if you didn't want to put a handle on or anything, you would be done. You just hit XX and you export it. But I'm going to, if this happens and you don't like one of the areas, say that your front end wasn't exposed enough or you wanted to pull this down further, what you do is you can just hide these parts right here, and you can manipulate this to make it wherever you want it to be, and then just hit apply and it's going to auto populate it again. So I want this to actually mess up to show you what happens, and how to fix it. So I'm going to hit apply and it's going to, that's what I want it to do. So you see how it's hanging over the edge now. And so all these are just the different parts when it says this. So that's the minimal thickness, that's the undercuts, and then this is that's the block out model right here, if you ever wonder what's underneath there. So now we have this little overhang here, and there's a few different ways to fix it. The first way we could fix it is we could go all the way through our steps. We never really want to modify our custom tray or base plate in this stage, just because it hasn't given us the offset we've requested yet in this stage. So we want to go through everything, let it merge everything together like it's going to be exporting it, and now it has this offset. If you can see here, before it was right on the model, now there's an undercut, or there's a space between my tray and my model, which is what I want. So you always want to work with this stage of the custom tray or the base plate or whatever. So now I'm going to hit freeform restorations, and it's going to bring us back to right where we were. So I'm going to deselect that there and say that I want to bring this back. I wanted to just try and cut this, if maybe possible, if I sat here for a while and hit remove, and try to remove all this back. But the easy way to do it is I'm going to sneak in an expert mode real quick. Always say yes to save your modifications after, because when you go all through the process and it says I'm done, or you get that final stage where it looks like you can choose, make the model, I'm done, expert mode. It goes ahead and exports those files for you. So what you're gonna want to do is modify that file, or it's never going to change if you do all this work after and you don't hit save for modifications. It's not going to change the tray that you originally exported. Anyway, so back to this, I'm going to select the tray. I want to select the model, and I am going to right click and hit edit mesh. So you see here, I can actually just cut this out. If I hadn't selected the tray and I just hit edit mesh, right click edit mesh, it would actually select this model here too, and I would cut the model as well. I don't want to do that. So make sure that you select the tray, right click edit mesh, and then what I can do is hit delete, and it kind of just snips that off for me. And but now I have an open hole in my tray, and that's not good. So what I do to fix that is I'm just going to select that again and make sure that it's select through, not select surface, because if you need to have the whole entire surface area around the hole covered or selected, I guess you could say, and then you just hit close hole. Then it makes it solid again. You're good to go. Save your modifications, yes. And then I could go back into Wizard. It's going to bring it back into this free form, or I could just hit free form merged earlier. Either one is fine. And then now I can smooth this off. So that's one way to fix it. If you have something minor, like say right here, I feel like my tray is not extended fully. I need to bring it back a little bit more. What I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to uncheck this. What this is right now, if I try and go on the bottom of my split or the intaglio, turn off my jaw skin here, and I try and mess with this at all, if this is checked on, there's no way I can mess with this. It's locking this surface. But if I uncheck this, now I can make modifications to my intaglio. And normally I'm not going to want to do that. But if I need to extend the tray, so now I can actually smooth this off of here. And say I wanted to extend the tray a little bit. What I can do is use the add function right here and actually just pull the tray. I'm going to bring my strength all the way up here. I'm just going to slowly brush off the back here. I don't need to add a whole lot. I'm just trying to get some extra coverage in the back there. It's trying to get, maybe I didn't get enough of the hammer out. So now you can see I brought the tray back enough to where it covers it. So if you need to make a little modification like that, you can. Another useful tool is on the second floor, we're not going to be adding tissue stops or a handle or anything like that. But in the future, you may want to, or for if a third year needs a case or something, you want to add a handle or you want to add tissue stops. So this is where you do that as well. I'm going to go in anatomic, and I'm going to select paint and pull. So this is for a handle. I'm going to get my brush size up, and I'm probably going to want to put it right about here. This is going to be the base of my handle. Anything that's in the yellow is kind of like they call it an elastic area. It just kind of smooths everything out. If you want more of a sharper shape, then you just turn this down. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pull it out in the direction I want to. So I go from paint moving parts to pull moving parts. And I'm just going to drag that out. So now you can see I have a handle. I go back to free, and I can smooth this guy out if I wanted to make a handle. And there you go. Now say I wanted to add tissue stops. So what I'm going to do, so I'm going to go back to my jaw scan. I'm barely going to make it visible. Maybe like 12%, something like that. Got to make sure that this is unchecked so I can add something. Got to add and remove. Can use a cylinder this time. Don't want to use the paintbrush because that makes kind of a mound, if you will, and this is going to make more of a cylinder. So we'll go back in the first molar area first, and I'm just going to click and hold. And then all of a sudden you're going to see this kind of pop through our model here. Actually, that went way too much. Couldn't really see it. Let me see if I can pull this up here. There it goes. So you see how it popped through my jaw scan right there? That's what I want to happen. So we'll go into canines right there. Right there. And then right there. So you can kind of see how it barely popped through. It's a lighter yellow. That means that it's coming through my jaw scan. Now, if I want to bring those back down to where they're right on top of it, what I do is I turn my jaw scan all the way on, and now you can see them fully. And now I'm gonna remove them. So it's only going to remove them until the point of where you can't see the yellow anymore, and then it's gonna stop. So that means it's gonna be right on the other side of my jaw scan. So I can just make these dots go away. Now I turn that off, they're still there, and they're going to be, you can kind of see right here if you're squeezing in between the two. There's my tissue stuff, and it's sitting right on my jaw scan. So that's the perfect depth for what. So this would be a good custom tray for a third year, and if it was, for a fourth year and they didn't want this, you would just subtract the handle, and you would just take out these little tissue stops for, um, especially Dr. Quinn. If you're making a custom tray for him, the best way that he doesn't like a handle, but he just likes a little nub. So you're gonna hit paint moving parts, He just likes it right here, so that way you can still wrap your lips around the front of the tray, and you still can get a holding point. You just need 3 points of pressure. That's what he likes. So, if you design this for maybe his case, you'll put that little nub on there. All right. So now that we're done with this step, I'm gonna hit next. It's gonna ask me to save modifications again. I'm gonna hit yes. And so now it's exported my final one. It's updated everything. I'm good to go. So I'm gonna click I'm done and hit next. And if I have a mandibular model also, and I need to make a custom tray for the bottom, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save all this. And all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit shift and I'm gonna drag it down to the bottom here. And then I'm gonna erase the top. I'm gonna hit save again, and I'm gonna hit design. So now it's under the same patient, and I'm tricking the software to put everything in the same CAD data folder, but I'm not having to worry about the antagonist thing and asking for occlusion and all that. So, but this is the only trick is you can't load your scene file. So that's my top arch. So I have to hit load scan data only, and now it's going to ask me for lower jaw scan. So now I can pull in my lower jaw scan, and here we go. Just go through the process again. Then when you're done, both the upper and lower tray are going to be in the same folder that you started out with for CAD data. The only other thing too for this model, if you can kind of see here, there's a hole. So if you need to fix that, just like how we cut the tray that was overhanging and we fixed that hole, you would do it the exact same way. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to export real quick, right click, edit mesh, I'm going to select my hole and hit close hole. And there you go. You can repair that. We're not worried about this as a custom tray, and it's kind of something that would block that anyway, so it's not a huge deal. But if there's a base plate and it's like in the depth of the vestibule or something, you either need to make sure that the scan is getting that, or it's it's tough, to bring a patient back and get another impression. I wouldn't go that far, but make sure you're getting these important landmarks: your depth of vestibule, your retromolar pad, uh, all that good stuff. The reverse S for your retromylohyoid area. But yeah, that's the gist of it. And then when you're done here, you go back and you hit open Explorer. Here is our maxillary tray that we had made. You can see that we have it. I took away the tissue stops from before, but we would have had our tissue stops. There's our little handle, and this is ready to send to the Rayware software to get nested to go on the printer. Well, I hope this helps, and you guys have a great night.